Alright, hello YouTube. So as you can see, I've added a skin to the box car design of the tutorial car I made for you guys. Adding a skin actually adds quite a bit of weight to the car, and as you can see, these suspension hubs are a little bit lower than the actual rim of the wheel. It might be a little easier to see right here. Yeah, they're lower than the actual rim of the wheel. That's because there's just so much weight added on. Everything's working fine, and I've even messed with the gear system in transmission. So now if you can see, I'll get into the vehicle. We got this nice little cockpit like thing for our box car. We're going to use X to start. As you can see, we can see all our stuff there. X to start, AD for steering, brake, you know, everything that I featured in the other video. So now we're just going to shift up and get a little bit faster going. Alright, we're going to turn, we're going to go over here. As you can see in fourth gear, we're already hitting about 90 kilometers, 100 kilometers. This is what our fifth gear would do. Oop. Alright. So let's go ahead and accelerate again. Have to come back here. Alright. Now we can gun it. See, we're hitting way faster than what we used to do with just our fifth gear. It's just because I've changed the overall gear ratio. I gotta hit Alt to stop. One thing that I find kind of cheap is if you don't want to go through the shifting, just go to your last gear, and there you go. It's pretty funny. I mean, it's not the fast acceleration, but hey, it's better than having to press E all the time and then worry about downshifting. Alright, so we just hopped over here. Let's go ahead and go in third person, see how she's going. As you can see, we're bouncing quite a bit, and we're bottoming out on our wheels. We don't really want that. As you can see, there's quite a bit of sway when we turn. It looks like the chassis is going to rip itself apart, and we just, like, turned out. So now we're going to go into our negative gear and back up. This one needs to be changed a little bit. But, yeah, look at that. Just on default, it's very low sitting. As you can see, we're almost touching. So now we're just going to go and look at what else we need to change. As you can see, I steered out going like 80 kilometers an hour, and that's not really that usual. It's because we're a lot heavier. There's a lot more momentum to our car. So what we're going to have to do is increase our... See, we did it again. We're going to have to increase that gyroscope settings a little bit. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Now, you might still hear the car noise, so just spawn another one. Or don't spawn one, but either way, if you spawn another car, it'll spawn as null, like everything's just off. So then you can just go to build, and you don't have any of the sounds. So now we've messed with the tinkering and tuning side of this game. First thing I notice is the wheels. They're sitting very low, so we're going to mess with the suspension force and suspension dampening. The dampening is how much cushion there is. So let's say you hit a bump and your wheels fly up a little bit. The dampening adjusts like how much bounce there is to that. And the force is how many pounds it takes to lower those wheels. So I'm going to change that to about, let's do 4,000. Let's just double them. I'm not going to mess with the dampening force. If I want a stiffer ride, I increase the dampening force. And if I want like a bouncy ride, I guess, you would decrease it. Oh, I want to mess with suspension force. Hopefully I didn't mess with this dampening. Oh, okay, there we go. We're all good. So now that we have that done, it might not be as bouncy now. So we're going to go and we're going to look at our gyro disc. And we're spinning out more, so we change this power coefficient. Let's just go to 2. We've just about doubled the weight, I think. So let's go ahead and double the power coefficient. Now that's changed. You can see in our car transmission, I haven't changed any of those settings above. The only one I've changed is the overall gear coefficient. I would recommend changing this by about 0.05 or 0.1 until you finally get it tuned. I've been changing it about 0.1, 0.05 every time. So now I'm going to go 0.75, and I'm going to see if I can go even faster without, slowing down a lot. And I think that's all I wanted to change. Just test it out now. So I want to exit the builder. I want to save. And we're going to go back and we're going to drive and see if that made everything better. Gyroscopes are your best friend when stabilizing a vehicle. So my first car, I'm going to plop her down. Alright, there she is. As you can see, the wheels, let me back up. Wheels are sitting higher now, so they're not going to bounce up and down as much now, hopefully. Alright, so we started up. Let's see. Yeah, we still have a little bit of bounce, and that can be changed with the suspension dampening. As you can see, if we... There's just a little bit of bounce and wiggle. Let's just drive real slow over here. I like driving over here a little bit better. However, you can get your car stuck. Yeah, this is probably gonna get stuck. Yeah, either way. I just like this nice little straightaway. And it's downhill. Alright, so let's start. See, as we have our handbrake on, however, we're still sliding down, so we need to adjust the handbrake a little bit. The car has gotten a little bit heavier. We're gonna start the engine, drive, and turn around. Let's go ahead and let's go now. Third gear is hitting what our fifth gear hit with the 0.5. Fourth gear is at 160, about. As you can see, we're still a little bit glitchy. Fifth gear is going to hit almost, there we go, 200 kilometers an hour. 200 kilometers an hour at fifth gear. Finally, we're hitting something. It's a little bit unstable, but I think it's driving quite nice for how it is. It's bouncing quite a bit, and that should be changed a little bit. As you can see, we just got a little bit out of control. Let's go ahead and test that again. See if we spin out of control on some turns. If we can force ourselves. I don't think it's not doing that bad. Let's go ahead and shift up so we can climb this hill faster. Alright, 160 kilometers an hour. Let's see how we do. Alright. So this isn't doing too bad. It's cruising really fast. I like this for just an engine car. And it looks quite nice. Oh, there we go. We just spun out. So I'm going to have to add a little bit to our... you can either change the power input to the gyroscope or the power coefficient. Obviously, the higher you go, the less you'll be able to turn. But the smoother it'll be, I think. See, right now we're a little bit jolty and we're still bouncing up and down, so we need to change that suspension force. Or dampening force, sorry. We need to change the dampening force. Because I want it to be stiffer. I don't want us to bounce so much. We're bouncing quite a lot. But as you can see, we're cruising at 200 kilometers an hour, 205. And we're not like spinning out of control just on straightaways or anything like that. Doing a little bit of turning. Let's shift just so we can find this. Oh man, we were finding it just fine in fifth, I guess. Alright, but this nice little circle, I like testing this. As you can see, we're jolting all about. But I'm going to change that dampening force a little bit, because we're bouncing like crazy. Alright, so we're going to hop out of that, spawn a new one just so we don't hear the noise, and go to build. So, open last project. So what I'm going to want to change is that gyroscope just a little bit. So gyro disc, let's do about a 2.3 coefficient. So now we need to go and we need to change our back wheels because they are on the auto handbrake, and as you saw we were still sliding, so let's change that brake force to a little bit more, like 3,500. So let's go over here, brake force 3,500, and maybe it's not gripping that well, so I'm going to change our forward friction to about 1.5. I don't want to change it much because that caused it to go backwards when I had it at 5. Alright. Now let's change our suspension damping. I want it to be more. I want it to be a stiff ride, so let's do 5,000. This is a box car. We don't really have springs. Change that to 5,000 damping force. 5,000. I want them all to stay about the same. 5,000. And then notice these wheels. I don't know. I think I want them a little bit skinnier. So for that, I'm going to go to wheel width scale. Make sure these are the steering wheels. And change that to about 0.4. Oh, I didn't even change it. I don't even know what I changed. 0.4. Oh, I guess 0.5 is the least you can go. Okay. So what we can do, that's alright. I'll keep it at that. That's okay. So now that that's all done, we have our gyroscope all set up nice. So let's exit the builder. Yes, I'd like to save. I think this actually does. Oh man, that's very sensitive. Wow. Okay, let's change that. Let's save it like that. So, assign tags. I don't really know what that does. Let's go ahead and just do it. I hope that saves like the picture of it. Alright, exit the builder. Alright, so let's pull it up. No, it does not change it. Okay. Alright, so let's spawn it in. As you can see, we're sitting high and it did not bounce. cranker. Alright, I'm just gonna go to 5th gear. Alright, so we're driving a little bit smoother. Not as bouncy. Alright. 200 kilometers an hour still. That's good. Let's see if we can drive smoothly and not twist and turn out of the way all the time. Alright, so we're hitting 200 kilometers an hour at 5th gear compared to the 120 we were hitting with just a 0.5 ratio. So I would recommend changing that overall gear ratio and messing with your dampening settings, because I'm not really twisting and turning that much. Let's try and make this bridge turn at 200 kilometers. Yeah, see, that's not that bad. Whoa. We're getting a little bit. There we go. As you can see, we're not bouncing that much, and that really increases our stability. We bounce a little bit, and that can be changed, but I feel it is overall a way better ride now that we just changed 2 things. Well, 3 things. The suspension dampening, the suspension force, and the gyro. I feel it's really good now. What I can do is change our gear overall coefficient a little bit higher and just keep going as high as I can until I reach my maximum speed I can get. But it's a very nice vehicle, I feel. It handles very nice for being a car with an engine, because the default cars they give you are just rocket engines, and that's kind of boring. Oh, alright, and we just drove off. As you can see, we were spinning there though. That's kind of cool. Alright. Maybe we can add like an anti-spin thing. With a rotational gyroscope. But that's okay. So I'm gonna go in here and I'm gonna try and adjust tuner. We bounced a little bit there, so I'm not gonna change the spine much. Just 5,500. Which, that's 10% of what we did have. That's okay. I'm gonna change this gyroscope just a little bit more. About 2.5. 2.5. Now let's try it. Exit the builder. Save. I want to work out a anti-roll option with a gyro. I think it's called a gyro wheel. I'm not too sure. Reset. I can't remember what it's called, but it's the one that actually spins how whatever inputs you put into it. Not a stabilizer. It's not the gyroscope. I cannot remember the name of the one, but it's basically just spins your car. Planes use it. All right, so we made that jump successfully. That was pretty nice. Let's see. Let's make this jump. Very nice. I love it. We're doing just great. All right, so now we flipped. And there we go. So let's see what our top speed is now that we changed that gear. I think we changed gear coefficient. Alright, 5th gear. Let's go. You don't even have to go through the gears. Let's see here. We're already at 180, 190, 200. She still wants to go, I think. No. About 200 is our maximum. Alright. Well, that's just a simple little vehicle on how to tune your vehicle and what problems might be wrong. If you're rolling or spinning, make sure you adjust that gyroscope, either by changing the power coefficient or how many volts are put into the gyroscope. And if you're bouncing and rolling quite a bit, you can also change the suspension force and the dampening. So this is just a short little video on tuning your vehicle and getting it to perform the maximum you can. I'm Say a Milkman. Please subscribe, comment if you have any questions, and like the video.